Welcome guys to my new video. Today I will do a quick review of the computer basics. So first of all, like my video, subscribe to my channel and let's start it. Let's start with the exercise number 1. What is the primary function of a CPU? First of all, the CPU stands for the Central Processing Unit. It's the brain of the computer. It is responsible for processing instructions, performing calculation, and managing the data. The function of the CPU is executes tasks sent by the program, the software program. Now let's see what is the primary function of a CPU. It executes instructions from programs performing arithmetic and logical operations to process data. Exercise 2, the difference between RAM and ROM. First of all, RAM is the random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. The difference between RAM and ROM is the RAM is a volatile memory. The program executing takes place. When I turn off my computer, the data is disappear, but in ROM is a non-volatile memory. And the RAM is a type of memory that is used to store the data. Let's see the solution. The RAM, or the random access memory, is a volatile memory used to active processes. Data is lost when the computer is turned off. But the ROM, or the read-only memory, is a non-volatile memory that stores essential firmware like the BIOS. This is the difference between the RAM and ROM. Now exercise number 3. Name 3 types of storage devices. We can put our data, for example, in a CD, USB, flash USB, memory, in a hard disk, etc. Let's see the solution. The 3 types of a software devices is the HDD or the hard disk drive, SSD or the solid state drive, and the flash drive like the USB and the SD card. Now, what is the role of the motherboard in a computer? The motherboard connects all the different components of the computer such as the CPU, the memory, connector. For input and output devices, all allows communication between them and help the computer to function. Let's see the solution. The motherboard connects all the components, allowing communication between them. The motherboard is a main printed circuit board in a computer. Now 5. What is an operating system? And give us 2 examples. First of all, the operating system is a system software that manages computer hardware and software resources, provide common services for the computer programs. We know also an operating system like the Windows is an operating system, macOS is an operating system, Android is an operating system, and we have a Linux, for example. Let's see the solution. An operating system in system software that manage hardware and software resources. For example, Windows, Linux, and macOS is an operating system. Now, what is the difference between primary and extended partition? The primary partition used to store the operating system, application, data. They are the most important partition on a disk. A disk can have 4 primary partitions. But the extended partition is a special type of a partition that can contain multiple logical drives. Logical drives are essentially partitioned with the extended partition. This is the difference between primary and extended partition. Let's see the solution. Primary partition stores the operating system and can be made bootable, only 4 can exist on a disk. But extended partition is a special type that allows multiple logical partitions inside it. Now let's see what is the database. The database is a collection of data that is organized so that can be easily to access, manage it, and update it. The data can be an image, video, text, document, etc. Let's see the solution. A database is an organized collection of data stored and managed electronically. For example, MySQL is a database, Mongo database also is a database, and the PostgreSQL. This is the definition of a database. Now number 8, what is the difference between hardware and software? First of all, hardware is a physical part of a computer, a part that I can touch it, like the keyboard, mouse, screen. But the software is a part of a computer that I can't touch it, like a program, like the operating system is a software also, etc. Okay, the hardware is the physical parts of a computer like the CPU, RAM, HDD, mouse, keyboard, but the software is a program and operating system that run on hardware. Number 9, define the term Internet Protocol or IP. IP or the Internet Protocol is a communications protocol that allows you to identify and communicate with a device on a computer network. Each device on a network has a unique IP address or the Internet Protocol address, which is used to route data to and from that device on the network. This is the Internet Protocol. Is a set of rules for sending and receiving data over the Internet. Explain the difference between TCP and UDP. The TCP is a connection-based protocol and the UDP is a connectionless. The TCP is a transmission control protocol and the UDP is used in gaming, playing videos, and the domain name system. Let's see the solution. The TCP is a connection-oriented protocol like the HTTP and the FTP, but the UDP is faster but connectionless like the online gaming and playing video or the domain name system. This is the difference between the TCP and the UDP. 11. What are the main components of a computer? The main component of a computer is the RAM, the storage, the hard disk, power supply, the CPU, the motherboard, the cooling system, input-output devices. This is the main component of a computer that help the computer to function. Now, what does BIOS stand for and what is its function? The BIOS stands for the Basic Input-Output System. It acts a bridge between the hardware and the operating system. This is the definition of a BIOS. The BIOS starts running before the operating system. It performs both to check if all the hardware is working. This is the importance of the BIOS in our computer. BIOS is basic for input-output system, initialize the hardware during booting and load the operating system. Now let's see what is the difference between the SSD and the HDD. The SSD is a solid-state drive. It's a faster, no moving part, and more expensive. But the HDD or the hard disk drive is slower, use spinning disks, and it's cheaper. This is the difference between the SSD and the HDD. Now, what is a virtualization in a computing? It allows multiple operating systems to run on the same time, on the same hardware, using the software like the VMware and the Hyper-V. Now explain what a MAC address is. A MAC address is a unique identifier assigned to network interfaces like the Wi-Fi or the Ethernet adapter. What is the IP address and its type? The IP address is a unique identifier for a device or a network. We have two types, private and public IP. The private IP is used in a local networks. It's private, but the public IP is used on the internet. Seventeen, what is an example of an operating system and an application software? An operating system, it can be Microsoft, Mac OS, Windows, Linux, Android, but the application software is Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, Microsoft Excel, web browser, Photoshop, Facebook, for example, Instagram. This is the application. Now, what are the two main parts of a computer memory? We have two parts. First part is a volatile memory, for example, the RAM, is lost data when the power is off, and the non-volatile memory is the ROM, SSD, for example. The volatile memory RAM stores data when the power is off, and the non-volatile memory like the ROM, SSD, HDD. It retains data permanently. Now, what is a cloud computing? The cloud computing is used, for example, uh, when I need to back up my data, for example, using the internet. For example, I used the Google Drive. Google Drive is a cloud computing using the internet and helps to put my data on it. Cloud computing provides computing resources, storage, or processing over the internet, for example, the Google Drive and the Microsoft Azure. Finally, what are the main functions of an operating system? The operating system helps us to run the application, allocate memory, manage file, control the users, etc. Let's see the solution. Process management, like running applications. Memory management, allocate RAM to process. File system, managed file. The drive management, manage input-output devices. This is the main functions of an operating system. This is a small revision about the computer basics. If you need to learn more about it, go to my channel and watch the full video. And now, if you have any question, contact me on Instagram. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I see you in next video.